The iPhone 17 is almost here, and this might be one of the biggest iPhone years ever. A lot is changing, but it's not all good. Prices might be going up, battery life might be going down, we're getting a new design, new colors, new cameras, maybe some new buttons. A lot is changing with the lineup this year, so let me break down in this video the 17 changes you need to know about the iPhone 17. A lot we gotta get into, so I'm gonna just quick jabbering and jump into the highlights, and also give a huge thanks to my friends at Incogni for sponsoring this video. I've got a story here I've never shared before, a little bit of a scary story, but let's keep things happy and kick things off with iPhone 17 goodness. Change number one for the lineup is really kind of the lineup itself is changing. Apple is of course sticking with 4 phones like they've done with kind of the iPhone lineup for the last couple of years, but where they used to experiment with mini iPhones, who remembers those days, or the Plus phones, this year it's kind of somewhere in between. So we're gonna get an iPhone 17, this is sort of your base entry-level model, an iPhone 17 Air, or iPhone 17 Slim, whatever the name's gonna be, a super slim iPhone, then of course your 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max. So you've got your Pro phones, your entry-level phone, and then kind of something, the wild card in between. Which leads me nicely to change number 2, and that is really the design of the entire lineup. Now, it's not gonna be some crazy ultra iPhone redesign, we're not getting the folding phone this year, nothing like that, but the iPhone is gonna look at least a little bit different on the back. Now, we still don't know if it's gonna be a one-tone design or a two-tone design, but the phones should look a little bit different here. We thought we were gonna get like a total horizontal sort of camera bar. That didn't end up panning out. It's gonna be very classic iPhone, but there is gonna be a bit of a difference here with the look. And really, the biggest redesigned phone this year, of course, is that wild card, the iPhone 17 Air. This is supposed to be one of the thinnest, lightest, slimmest iPhones Apple has ever made. Of course, with that comes some sacrifices I'll get into, kind of the stuff you'd assume, battery life, cameras, things like that. But if you've wanted something totally new, totally different, and something that feels very Apple, on iPhone-like, this might be the way you want to go if you want to do a little experimenting this year. Next round of changes are going to be with the displays. Now, no display size increase or decrease is happening this year, but a couple of changes here to note. Number 1 is there have been some last-minute rumors about an anti-reflective coating on the Pro phones. Maybe nano texture becomes an option on the iPhone. That would be cool, super cool to see. But what is going to happen, and is much less of a wild card, is the dynamic island is still going to be there, so we're not going to get a whole punchless iPhone this year. And then also some really good news. Finally, Tim, thank you. ProMotion coming to all of the iPhones this year. So 60 Hertz is officially gone from the flagship iPhone lineup. It still is in the 16E, so it's not gone from all modern iPhones, but at least the 17 series, all going to be 120 Hertz. In terms of changes on the inside, this is where Apple can really kind of hold off and show us sort of a big reveal, because we can see the iPhone on the outside leak like crazy, but the internals are a lot less prone to leaks. What we're assuming right now are sort of the basic things: A19, A19 Pro, those will be the new Apple Silicon chips inside of these new phones, maybe up to 12 gigabytes of RAM, at least in the Pro phones. We've got some rumors about Wi-Fi 7, some nice high-speed Wi-Fi coming to all phones, and then there's been a lot of debate about an Apple branded cell modem. We know the 16E has the Apple C1 cell modem. This is the first iPhone to have Apple's own cell modem, and we're hearing that like it's going well, there haven't been any issues, but Apple's not ready to scale up just yet. So these won't have the C1 in them, at least not this year. There were some rumors that maybe the Air could have it, and there'd be like one phone that would have it. We don't really know right now, but just assume sort of the standard array of improvements will be there on the inside. Though, I guess we should talk about battery. That's another big chunk of what's inside your phone, and this is where things get a little controversial. When it comes to battery life, I'll throw a chart here on screen to show you what we think we know are the alleged leak capacities of the batteries in the lineup, though of course take that with a grain of salt. The biggest sort of red flag here, of course, is for that iPhone Air or Slim or whatever Apple calls it. Because that phone is so slim and thin and lightweight, there is only a battery so big that Apple can physically put in that phone. And we're already hearing right now from those who have done sort of leaks and the testing and the info that's coming out that the battery life on that phone is going to be a problem. We're also set to see a vapor chamber cooling system inside these phones. That's been a persistent rumor for years now that finally seems to be coming to the iPhone. And then with that, we sort of go back out of the phone to the cameras. And here is the good news when it comes to cameras. All models this year are going to be getting a 24 megapixel selfie camera, so that'll be nice. Your selfies will look good no matter what phone you have. And on the Pro phones, things might get a little bit more interesting. And look, we can disagree about the iPhone 17 and its features and whether it's worth the upgrade. That's fine. That is the beauty of YouTube, is that we can have these discussions. But I think we can all agree on one thing, and that is that when these discussions or disagreements delve into the personal, real world, they're inappropriate and totally unacceptable. And I'm not sure I've ever shared this story publicly before, but I will do it in the interest of full disclosure and vulnerability. I've shown tons of clips of me making videos as a kid. I loved making YouTube videos. I loved getting connected with the tech community at a young age. But there was one video I made, I think when I was like 14 years old, that a certain subset of the tech community didn't like. And they decided to not only give me a bunch of hate comments, but they looked at my information, they found my home address, my email, my phone number, and then proceeded to do a bunch of crazy things. They called me, sent stuff to the house. It was a terrible situation. It was that situation and some others that have me so incredibly passionate about partnering up with companies like this video sponsor Incogni, because their whole mission is to keep your information, your personal information, private, safe, and secure and off the web. And there is a whole wild world out there of data brokers and buying and selling your info and just your personal stuff floating out there. But I think bottom line is no one wants to be able to like search up their name and then find their name and address and email and like other sensitive info about you and your family member potentially. It's just not a good thing, which is why I love Incogni, because they're going to make sure that information is removed. They're going to contact these data brokers and these websites on your behalf. They're going to do the hard work for you. They've got the experts on their team. And the nice thing for you is it's totally automated. The onboarding process is super simple. You set up your account, tell them the info you want removed, and then their teams get to work doing that for you. And one of the nice things as well is there's a brand new feature that lets you actually go in and manually like flag something for them to review. You can send that over and they will get that cleared for you. It is really, really cool. And if there is one piece of advice I want you guys to get from this video, it's not about the iPhone, it's not about Apple, but it's to get your personal information back, get it safe and secure, get it off the web. And the best way to do that is with my friends over at Incogni. If you want to learn more, check it out for yourself today. It's super easy to get started. I'll throw a link down below. And if you go to incogni.com/AppleCircle and you use my special code AppleCircle, that's going to get you 60% off an annual plan, which is so important because you want to make sure this is sort of, working on your behalf on a regular basis. It's not a one and done thing. These websites just keep popping up. Link down below. Use my code AppleCircle to get 60% off an annual plan at the link right down below in the description. So a couple of rumors here to take note of. Number one is a 48 megapixel telephoto lens might be coming to the Pro and Pro Max that could give you up to 8x optical zoom range. Then also we have heard some rumblings about 8K video recording for the Pros. That'd be awesome to see. And then a lot of talk about a dual recording mode. Now right now there are apps that'll do this. It'll basically allow you to record from the back camera and the front camera simultaneously for like a dual POV view for your recording, but we're hearing this might be coming as sort of a new feature for the 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max. So it could be super cool if you're a creator looking to get the most out of your camera. Weird that it wouldn't be like an iOS like 26 feature, but sometimes Apple reserves it just for the phones. So that's something we could see for the Pro phones this year. And then of course, keep in mind, again, one of the compromises you're making with that iPhone 17 Air, in addition to a smaller battery, is one camera. All iPhones in the lineup should support this new faster Qi 2.2 wireless charging. We're also hearing maybe it's finally happening. Reverse wireless charging could be finally coming to at least some phones in the lineup, maybe the Pro and Pro Max. And then of course, there are two other controversial things we've got to talk about with the lineup. That of course is the name and the price. Now, many are speculating that because Apple decided to sort of throw the rule book out the window and rename all their OSs this year, that this could be the year they rename the iPhone. Hopefully, we're not going to get iPhone 26 and we get that weird naming convention. But many are thinking that maybe it's time for Apple to finally drop the numbers and go kind of like what they do with the iPad and the Mac and just do like either like a generation or just the year. So if they just wanted to do iPhone, iPhone Air, iPhone Pro, iPhone Pro Max, that would make sense, and they just sort of would put the years in parentheses. That would make a lot of sense. Maybe they stick with it because they're weird sometimes and they do iPhone 17 and Air and all those things. And then of course, pricing. How much is the iPhone 17 going to cost? And if you want to upgrade, how much are you going to pay? Well, Apple's pretty elusive on pricing and they do their own promotions and things like that, so we don't know how that's going to shake out, but at least one analyst has an idea, maybe an inside scoop on how pricing is going to go, and here's our best guess right now. The iPhone 17 looks to have the exact same starting price tag as the iPhone 16, that is $799, and then from there, all models would get a $50 increase. So the 17 Pro would be $1049, Pro Max would be $1249, and the iPhone 17 Air would be $949, about sort of $50, less than $999 and $100 separating that from the Pro model. So some nice sort of separations and buffers there between the 17, 17 Air, Pro, and Pro Max. Apple has been doing some more price increases as of late, so it's not crazy to think about. And yeah, the iPhones, at least according to this analyst, are going to be basically getting more expensive across the board. Unless you're looking at the 17, in that case, I guess you're in luck. No discount, but at least the price doesn't look like it's going up. So that is what we know, or at least what we think we know about the iPhone 17 lineup. And I'm curious, what are your thoughts as always? Will you be upgrading to the iPhone 17? Will you not be upgrading? What phone are you coming from? Do you think there's enough here this year that's exciting? Drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the 2025 iPhone lineup. We're just a couple of weeks away from the big reveal, so make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already for all of this iPhone 17 goodness. Appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for your support. I'm Robert Rosenfeld, and I'll see you guys in the next one.